What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing? Welcome to Jake Richardson's Coaching Corner, Season 2, Episode 22. The topic of the day is the death of an NFL star and the rebirth of a mindset. We're going to dive right into the intro. So, sadly, an ex-NFL star, Demerius Thomas, who used to be a receiver for the Broncos, and a couple other teams in the latter half of his career, but while on the Broncos, was multiple-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, certain times of his NFL career, one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL. Big, strong presence, great player. Sadly was found dead just a couple days ago in his home. There was a lot of speculation on what was the root of it. He got into a recent car accident, and they thought that could have been it. Family members of his were saying how he was having a lot of seizure issues, and they found him passed away in his bathtub. So I'm assuming had a seizure, hit his head somehow, flipped over, drowned. There's a lot, like I said, there's not a lot of detail just yet because he recently passed away, but those are the lines in which he probably passed. Very sad. So young. I don't really like to have podcasts based on tragedy, but what I could dissect from it was something that led into the previous podcast, which is mindset, positive, rich and poor. So this kind of helps give more light in a real context. So with that being said, we're going to dive right into this sad story and hopefully get some positivity out of it and help your mindset out, because that's the whole idea. What's my reaction to this horrible tragedy? Shock will be the first one, mainly because he's 33 years old. I'm 33 years old. To hear of somebody that was such a presence in the NFL, was such a presence in football as a whole, to die at that young of an age is extremely sad. And it's extremely shocking. More often than not, you don't hear receivers having brain issues later down the line. More often than not, when you hear of suicide, more often than not, when you hear of anger issues, death, it's more the players that had the constant contact with their heads, linebackers, offensive, defensive linemen, running backs, fullbacks. These guys have the long trauma in the latter half of their life, where, like I said, there's suicides. There's a list of horrible things that come with the repeated smacking of the helmet, smacking of your brain. Rarely do you hear it happen to receivers. So hearing of the seizure issues that he was having, you're very much so curious if that comes from his time as an NFL player, if he had underlying illnesses in his family that are now surfacing up that are passed on to him where he has seizure issues, or if it had to do with things that happened outside of his NFL career. Like I said, recent car accidents, something that had to do with head trauma to where he was getting seizure issues. But extremely sad, extremely serious. I had a client of mine years ago that had seizure issues. And if you've ever been in a room with somebody that has severe seizure issues and they have an episode, it is frightening and it is very frantic, and you need to have a very cool, calm mind to react to what is going on. And it's sad to hear that he was by himself and possibly had a seizure, possibly cracked his head, possibly drowned. It's sad. It's preventable, but at the same time, it's hard. You can't be around somebody 24/7. But I wish that people were taking it more serious if he was having repeated seizure issues. So that's very sad. But shock is huge. I'm, to this point, still shocked. Mainly because, like I said, his age. The thing that always runs through my mind when I hear of young, amazing athletes passing away is this. We idolize so much, and we look up to these people more than we look up to our parents, more than we look up to our mentors, because of their high level athleticism and what we aspire to be. This guy reached very high pinnacles within the sector of football that most people would give their left arm for. But then when you hear him passing at 33 years old, knowing that he still has 2/3 of life potentially left, would you give up your breathing right now and your life right now to live that microcosm of perfection, that microcosm of adrenaline that he got from being in the NFL? Or would you appreciate the life that you have right now and the breath that you're taking right now and do something with it, understanding that you have 2/3 of potential life left? So that's always the big message that I try to get out to people is, yes, this is very sad. Man, did he live such a small fraction of an amazing life. But is it more sad that he passed away so young and you're still here and you're not doing what you should be doing with your life? When I hear stories like this, the first thing that connects with me is I'm still here and I have an opportunity to still do amazing things. If you could think that way and if you could absorb it that way, his passing doesn't go in vain. It's you learn from it and then you project forward. This is just another story of tragedy that'll help you do something great. What else reaction wise? Sadness. Because of his age, because of his circumstance, because of the people it affects, his family, his teammates, fans, all these people, it's extremely sad. I don't ever like to hear these stories, but they happen every single day. We live in this small bubble where we only pay attention to the things that we either see on social media, hear on the news, or feel when we go outside. Not knowing that every day people and things are dying by the hundreds of thousands. But like I said, we only hear what we want to hear and we don't realize it. But if you could realize that every day that you close your eyes and wake up the next day, there are many people, there are many things that don't get that luxury. If you think in these terms, you won't ever take a day lightly. You'll make sure that you're maximizing your days. You'll make sure that you're putting yourself in a better position because we're lucky. As much as people don't want to accept that we're lucky and that we have amazing opportunities presented to us every day, just based on being able to open your eyes the next morning, fuck, if that doesn't empower you, if that doesn't wake you up, that doesn't give you energy to make a difference and make a change and fucking go, I have no clue what will. But for me, that shit charges me all day, every day. Every day that I close my eyes and I'm able to open them again, realizing that a lot of people, a lot of things weren't able to do the same thing, motivates the fuck out of me. And I hope when you're listening to this, it motivates the fuck out of you and gives you better perspective. Perspective is the biggest thing that people lack. We always want to sit there and loathe. We always want to sit there and complain about what we're not getting and what somebody else is getting. And we don't realize the main beautiful thing that you got today was you were able to open your eyes and live another one. And live another one, and live another one. And hopefully, like I said, live till you're 100 years old. But until you can grasp that concept, you'll always find the worst in your day. You always find the worst in people. You gotta switch it up because these stories should wake you the fuck up and help you switch it up. Another thing that you get from hearing this story is reflection. What's gotten you to where you are, in which what got him to his end? You could look at stars and athletes and actors and envy them and say, why not me? Why am I not there? Until tragedy happens. We never do that. We only look at what people have while they're living, while they're enjoying it. But when they pass young, when bad things happen, we never look at the positives that we have now. We only looked at the positives they had. But when something bad happens to them, we never look at the positives that we have, which is, like I said, extremely sad. Demerius Thomas, rest in peace, did everything they possibly probably wanted to do as an NFL player. A lot of NFL striving guys that wanted to go to the NFL weren't able to do what he did. But you are still alive. You still have a lot of story left to write. Sadly, his story has ended. Yours is still going. What do you do with that? Who do you help? Who do you reach out, touch, and change with the breath that you're still taking? If Demerius Thomas was still alive, he would still be out there reaching for people, changing their lives, helping, using his platform, pushing a positive message. Since he isn't alive, shouldn't you be the next person to take that story, digest it, accept it, and then push your story forward in a positive light? You still have a whole bunch of time. People are living like zombies. They don't think that they're worth anything. They don't think that their life is as valuable as his life was. Your life is extremely valuable because yours is still going. So make these differences, make these changes, use these stories to help you the fuck out. And then, like I said, for me, it's appreciation. What I get out of hearing stories like this is I appreciate the life I'm still living. I'm appreciating the life that my family, my friends, my loved ones are still living with me. And appreciation just keeps flowing all the way out. When you do appreciate, better things happen for you. Positive things happen for you. And then it happens to the people around you. When you, like I said, are envious, you're loathing, you need people to feel bad for you, bad things end up happening. So with sadness, reflect and appreciate. Don't appreciate the sad story. Appreciate your ability to fucking appreciate. You're here. You're breathing. You're going. Appreciate that shit. How can this tragedy shift your mindset for the better? First off, don't idolize people and put your life down. Like I was just saying earlier, we do this all day, every day. People, you have to realize this. Every famous person that you have ever idolized, that you have ever looked up to, at one point in life, wasn't shit. Was somebody that was aspiring, was somebody that was working at Chili's, was somebody that was on the sidewalk singing, playing the instruments for dollars. Everybody at some point in life isn't shit until they're the shit. I say that line all day. You ain't shit until you're the shit. Meaning, you are not worth anything in the social eye until people deem you worthy of being worth something. And it doesn't mean you're the most talented. More often than not, the most talented rapper isn't the most famous rapper. The most talented singer isn't the most famous singer. I know a list of extremely athletic athletes. Basketball players, football players, soccer players, baseball players. The list goes on and on and on. That you have never heard of because of circumstance. Injury, grades, lack of motivation, substance abuse. There's so many things that will get in your way. You need to not idolize people thinking that their life is worth more than your life. Because when these people pass away from simple, normal things that everybody passes away from, we think that celebrities and athletes and stars die by the lightning bolt of Zeus hitting them. No, they die of cancer. They die of gunshot wounds. They die of broken hearts the same way the average human being does, because they genetically are still the average human being. They might be big, fast, strong, sing, act, do all these special things that we deem otherworldly, but at the end of the day, they are breathing the same as you, they are bleeding the same as you, they are crying the same as you. And when you could realize that and pull back the curtain, the more life will taste better, feel better, look better. But if you sit there and you look at them as above you, you always look at yourself as below them. And that is the most unhealthy thought process you can have. So a way to change your mindset is by looking at every single human being on this planet on an even playing field and realizing we're all human and your story isn't done until you stop breathing, until you actually pass away. You could do amazing things at any stage. You don't need to be a phenom, a young teenager, a young 20-year-old to do amazing things. There are a lot of people that at certain stages of their life were at the top, get knocked all the way down. There's a lot of people that started down that get knocked all the way up. It's an effervescent flow. Just because you make it to the top doesn't mean you stay at the top. Just because you're stuck at the bottom doesn't mean you stay at the bottom. It can go up and down. Only reason that you stay at the top is because you work so hard that you never give it up. The only reason why you stay at the bottom is because you've given up and you allow yourself to stay stuck at the bottom. It's all a mindset. There's nothing else that's holding you back except your mindset. Your brain is the strongest thing in your whole body. It ain't no muscle in your body. It's not the bones in your body. It is your brain. Your brain will have you do amazing things or it'll have you do stupid, shitty things. And it's all up to you. So that's a huge way that you can shift your mindset. Stop idolizing. Another one is your story can change at any time. Like I was saying, it's up and down. You could change it. You may not be able to change it the way you want to change it. Like I said, mindset in life is like a buffet. Or, yeah, let's stick with buffet. There's only so many plates and there's only so many pieces of food in which you can get. At some point in time, the chicken might run out. Okay, well, there's 9 other items there. What else do you like? Oh, ribs? Okay, I'll have some ribs. And then when I go back for seconds, the ribs ran out. All right, what else do I like? Oh, they got bacon? Okay, I'll eat some bacon. They got yam fries? I'll eat some yam fries. You have options, but they run out at a certain point, but it doesn't mean that you can't pivot. What do I mean by that? If you like football and you want to play in the NFL, there's a window in which you could play football and you can be in the NFL. If you miss that window, then you could start a football blog. You could start a podcast talking about football. You could play Madden and become a great video game football player. You could still stay in the realm of football. You just might not be able to be on the field as a professional athlete. But you can always branch out. You can always pivot. My best advice for people is whatever you're good at, whatever your interests are, try to find ways to get into that avenue. It doesn't have to be the glitz and glam one that you wanted, but you could pivot and you could get into these things and you can start different careers based on the same passion that you had as a child. So that's another one is your story could always change, and it could always change positively or negatively. We see it all the time with athletes. They have the ESPN 30 for 30 called Broke. They have all these Netflix specials where you're watching high-end athletes have all the money, have all the girls, have all the fame, and they lose it because they think they're more than a human being. They spend all the money, they get hooked on drugs, they start point shaving, and they throw it all away. What happens more often than not when they throw it all away? They pan back to them now, broke, sad, fat, and you would never think they were this high-end athlete. People walk by them all day and have no fucking clue. So get that through your head, is your story is always changing, and it could be positive or it could be negative. The second one is maximizing your individual day. People get caught up in Monday through Sunday. I tell everybody, I live my days, and every single one of them is called day. It's not Monday, it's not Tuesday, it's not Wednesday, it's not Sunday. It's day. If I'm going to do some shit to make me better, I'm not going to tell myself, I'll start Monday. What the fuck's that shit going to do? I'm trying to get better today. The one thing I tell everybody is don't allow your future self to pick up the slack for your now self or your past self. And that can go in a list of things. If I want to get a stronger upper body, I'm not going to rely on my future self on Monday to do 200 push-ups. If I'm thinking about it now, I'm going to do 200 push-ups now. And then if I got enough energy on Monday, I'll do another 200 push-ups, 100 push-ups. If I see the dishes are piling up, I'm not going to tell myself I'll do them tomorrow, because that is me relying on my future self to be stronger than I am right now. I don't ever believe that. My future self sometimes ends up being stronger because of wisdom, because of working out and all these things. But my ego right now is going to tell myself, fuck my past self and fuck my future self. I like now Jake to get the shit done that I need to get done. If you could think in that term, everything will be just day. You'll never look at anything as I need to do it this day or that day. You will rely on yourself, and you'll get more shit done if you don't rely on your past or future self, and you look at everything as day and you don't look at it as anything affiliated. Every day is just fucking in the moment. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to get it done. And that's it. And then I go on to the next project. And then my future self will just focus on future shit. My now self is going to focus on my now shit. And that's it. What else? What else are we doing with this tragedy shift that will help my mindset? Is you enjoy the time and the people you do have. This life is short. A story that I've told many times that I still always like to go to. I had a 90-year-old client, sweetest old lady on the planet. Her and her husband built this big empire. They had in the medical field. They had all this money. They had all this fun. They had all this laughter. They had this huge house. I would go to their house in Atherton. I would show up. Me and her would walk around. It wasn't like she was working out too much. I gave her little dumbbells and we go on little walks and talk. And I remember asking her, did 90 feel like as long as it is? She looked at me and didn't hesitate. She said, it felt like that. To hear that was fucking almost knocked me off my feet. To hear that 90 felt like that and life felt like that for somebody that's reached a pinnacle age that we all hope to reach. Not a lot of people make it to 90. There's a lot of circumstances that will stop you from getting there. And when you talk to somebody, you think in your head as a young person, man, that's a very long time. It probably takes forever. It probably feels like forever once you're there. And then to hear somebody that is there with so much energy and so much vigor look at you and be like, man, it goes by quick. Enjoy it as much as you can, because once it's over, it's over. It's honest. I'm 33 years old. 15 feels like yesterday. When I was 15, 5 felt like yesterday. So with that being said, you need to enjoy the time in which you have with the people that are here. We're all aging. People pass at any given moment. You need to say I love you as much as you possibly can. You need to hug them while they're still around and you can still feel them. You need to have open, honest, fun conversations while you can still laugh and while you can still think and while you can still enjoy each other's time. Demerius Thomas, if you were to tell him he was going to pass at 33 and he had 2 options. Here's a career that is second to most. You're a Pro Bowl, you're an All-Pro, you're a Super Bowl champion, you're going to do all these amazing things in the NFL, but you're going to pass away at 33. Or you don't do any of that, live a regular life, and I'll let you live to 85, 90. I would hope, or I would bet he would pick option 2. I don't think if somebody were to give me those options, I would go for the NFL is my dream. If for those of you that don't know, I played football my whole life. My biggest dream was to get in the NFL. I would do anything to get there physically. But if somebody were to tell me at 21 years old before I'm going to the NFL, at 33 you're going to pass. You're going to do all these great things, but it's short-lived. 33, you're done. Or I take this away from you, but I'll give you 85 to 85, 90. I would take 85, 90 because there's so much life, and there is so much more to life than these small goals or these small aspirations and dreams. The big picture is the moments with the people you really care about, the moments that you don't get back, the fun conversations, the hugs, the love, the joy. It's priceless. And with that, you got to really embrace it. Demerius Thomas, like I said, he would embrace his family right now. He would embrace the moments if he knew that they were finite, if he knew that they were short-lived. You don't know. And that's the beauty of it all. You can go tomorrow, or you can go at 95. With that knowledge, why would you not say I love you to everybody? Why would you not get a hold of the people that you love and just spend as much fun time? We think that we're here forever. We're not. 90 goes by in a flash. 33, death, tragedy. So many horrible things that can end up happening. So enjoy the people around you. And then the last one, make sure you leave an impact on the world before you go. People think you have to be a president to make an impact. People think you have to be the greatest quarterback to ever live to make an impact. People think you have to be Michael Jordan to make an impact. People think you have to be Mother Teresa to make an impact. You don't. Your impact starts from the people around you and reverberates outward. My two parents have helped me when it comes to creating the human being I am. The wisdom that I'm speaking to you guys has heavily to do with the reality, the truth, and the joy that they sat and told me about and talked to me about. And that is priceless. They made an impact on me. With social media, with technology growing the way it's grown, I'm able to make an impact on you. These ideals could reverberate years upon years upon years. When I have children, I will pass this knowledge on to them. They will pass it on to their kids. They will pass it on to their friends. They will pass it on to their significant others. Those are impacts. I tell everybody this. My goal per day is to impact one person positively, to change one person's day in a positive way. One a day. In the lofty goal. But when you look at it, if I could change one person's outlook in a positive way a day, that's 365 people in a year. That is an amazing year. If I could help one person, and there's 365 days in a year, and I could do 365 people in positive reach a year, that's 365 fucking people. Holy shit. I don't even know if I know 365 people personally. And you can do that year upon year upon year. You are helping thousands of people. That is a lifelong impact that you will end up leaving. So my best advice and the goal that you should be trying to achieve is positively influencing one person a day. It could be kids, it could be friends, classmates, workmates, family, significant others, etc., etc., etc. Affect one a day, 365 people. Do that for the rest of your life. That is a shitload of people. So that's my big message. in this big tragedy is with Demerius Thomas. Sweet thing is because of his NFL prowess and because of his fame. In 33 years, he got to affect and touch a lifetime of people in such a positive way. So shout out to him and his 33 years. To close it all off, like I said, I really hate talking about young death or death in general, but I think that there's a lot of positive messages you can get within it. As much as there is with joy and sadness, you can get positive messages out of both of them. People want to lean towards the joy because it's sweet, happy, and fun. But if you shy away from sadness, you're doing yourself a disservice. You have to tackle both. You have to find the silver lining between both. And a big thank you to Demerius Thomas. It's a sacrifice. I don't think he killed himself on purpose by any means, but death is death within itself. And if that were not to happen, I would not be able to find the positive mindsets between them or think about it, and I would not be able to provide this podcast. So rest in peace, Demerius Thomas. Very sad, but thank you for the messages I got to find out in between that. I hope they've helped you out, and the main thing I want to focus on is don't think that your story is done. Don't think that you can't do amazing things. Don't forget to get a hold of your loved ones and pass your message through them. If you could do that, then amazing things will happen. Besides that, I'm out. Have a good day. Peace.